Okay, welcome everybody. We are actually here for the November 21st, 2022 Board of Police Commissioners meeting. I'd like to take a quick attendance. Vice President Garrett.
Hi.
There we go. Commissioner Nagy.
Here.
Okay. Commissioner Vargo.
Here.
Commissioner Collins. All right, everybody's here. So I want to take a look at any questions on the October 17th, 2022 meeting.
No.
Any motions?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the October 17th, 2022 Board of Police Commissioners by Commissioner Vargo and second by Commissioner Nagy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those in favor say opposed. Okay, so we have motion passes 5 in favor of 0. Now, we do not have any old business or new business. Anything from the commissioners before we go into other matters? Any questions? Anything on your minds? Okay. I do want to mention that we do have the holiday party coming up on November 8th. I would like to
December 8th.
Sorry, December 8th. I would like to attend, and that had +1. So it looks like pretty cool. So if someone wants to present on that, it looks awesome.
Not over the public.
Yeah, do we have to publicly RSVP right now?
I am. All right. So Chief, do you want to walk through this, or Drake? And okay, we have other matters, recruiting, screening process, and accreditation update.
Thank you very much. As you noted, I have a small agenda, just 2 items. Both of them are just updates, but I think they're important updates. And I just went through the accreditation process in the last meeting, but for the public, I think it's important for them to know that the town of Zionsville's police department is now accredited by the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. And that is an agency which reviews police departments both in the United States and some outside the United States to ensure they meet the best practices and standards of contemporary professional law enforcement. And we were fortunate enough to move through that process in about 2.5 years and attain that accreditation Saturday. And I'm extremely proud of our police officers. This, as I said earlier, this is not my accomplishment. This is an accomplishment of the aggregate work of our police officers. And I'm extremely proud of each one of them. And I'm also very proud of Sergeant Samuelson here, who, in addition to his regular duties as our sergeant in charge of investigations, he served as our accreditation manager. And that reflects a great deal of work, not only what he's done in the past to get here, but these standards, this accreditation has to be maintained. So on an annual basis, he'll be reviewing things. And I think we have to appear again in 4 years before the board to attain the accreditation again. So thank you to Josh and all our police officers who performed so well in this process. I couldn't be happier. And I think the town should be extremely proud of our police department. The second.
Hey, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Now that we have it, do we have to have an apparatus to keep it? Like, is there every 5 years you got to go through a refresh process, or is this we got it forever?
No, we don't have it forever. You have to go through proofs and reviews on an annual basis, and then with every 4 years you have to appear again before the commission to retain that accreditation. In fact, when we were there, another department you may be familiar with, Noblesville, was there to be recertified, or not be recertified, to again retain their accreditation. And it's also important, I think, to note that there are very few police departments that are recognized as accredited in Indiana. Just 15 town or city agencies and 4 sheriff's departments. And we are the first police agency in Boone County to earn this honor. Any other questions about accreditation?
Oh, that's great.
Thank you. Now, well, let me lead into this next matter by saying, again, for the public, we received that accreditation at a banquet in St. Louis Saturday night. And Captain Sterling and Sergeant Samuelson hopped in their car and drove through the night to be back here in Zionsville for our recruit testing process, which began at 9 a.m. Sunday morning and required them to be there a bit earlier than that. So our next update will be from Captain Sterling on our screening process.
Good morning. We did, as Chief mentioned, and Commissioner Garrett was present on Sunday. We did have our physical agility and our written testing for our applicants. We closed our process last Friday with 57 applicants total. We had 22 arrive for testing. They completed the physical agility, which was vertical, push-ups, sit-ups, 300-meter dash, and a 1.5 mile run. And then those that completed the standards, which we held them to ILEA exit standards, then moved on to the written test. And so I'm expecting back the results of the written test, which was proctored by Testing for Public Safety, probably no later than next week. And then we'll move on to interviews. We have those tentatively scheduled for December 6th and 7th.
Did any of those candidates have prior law enforcement experience?
Yes, many of them did. I would say somewhere around 40% were probably lateral applicants.
So if you're lateral, you have to pass all those tests again.
Yes,
Got
so we do require everybody to do the same standards of testing for a couple reasons. One, we are looking to hire healthy officers, so the physical agility is important to us. We as a department try to promote wellness, both physical and mental. So, and that's one of the reasons in the past couple of years we've established our physical fitness assessment test for our police officers that are currently on the department, which we'd never done prior to that. So we want to certainly emphasize that, and then also having them take the written test gives us a good gauge because not all laterals are created equally. We understand that there could be people from different types of municipalities, sheriff's offices, kind of secondary police officers from hospital police, capitol police, things like that. So we want to create a measuring stick that everybody kind of moves forward at the same pace. That way we can, gauge appropriately.
When you think of the people that sign up and the people that showed up, are you going to go back and look at where you found them? And if you think about our recruiting efforts that are yielding good candidates and recruiting efforts that are yielding bad candidates and double down on those good efforts, is that a plan?
Absolutely. So we did build in our application, the how did you hear about this? We'll go back, look at that. I certainly think there are some ways that are more effective than others. The best way is through our social media, our town website. And then I found the most reliable way is word of mouth. If we know somebody who's interested, that tends to be where we get our best applicants. I know there were a couple there that we know and that were referred by other police officers, which is fantastic. So, yeah.
Did you lose anybody after the physical agility?
We did. We lost three. Three did not successfully pass the physical
It's too
agility.
bad, Vice President Garrett, that you didn't pass the test.
Well,
Not
no,
enough push-ups.
I was
huh?
too old.
Oh, okay.
What is it, max age of 40? Is
40,
that
yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, when I walked into the testing center,
Yeah.
because everyone was in they were all in the gym and all the candidates were in the testing center. And I walked in, this old man with gray hair, and they all looked at me like, you're in the geriatric conventions down the way. What are you doing here? So yeah, I didn't pass.
That's awesome. That's great.
Thank you. We'll continue on with the testing and, hopefully when we have 5 openings, as you know, so we'll do our best to siphon out who needs to be employed and who doesn't. And if we have to run another process later in the year, we'll do that. If that's necessary, but otherwise I think we have a good pool. So I'm excited about it.
How many candidates were there showed up for the first?
22, and 19
Okay.
remain after the physical.
So the council, at request of the department, asked and got 5 new positions. What's the timing then of this process relative to a lateral and relative to someone with no law enforcement experience and has to go through the academy? Can you kind of talk through when those folks may be on the street?
Yeah. So the biggest hurdle for all of our applicants is our pension program. So we have a state pension program. It's called PERF 77. All the municipalities in the state of Indiana that are, like I said, municipalities, not town marshals, are on that pension program. Sheriff's departments are on a different pension program. So if we get a lateral who's already in the 77 program, they typically we can speed them up about a month and a half. So if I could see a scenario where if we had 2 or 3 that were in the pension program already, we might be able to stagger the start dates and maybe get them started earlier. But those that are not in the pension program have to go through the full approval, which includes psychological test, medical evaluation, and then a 30-day pension approval at the state level. So best case scenario, lateral in the pension program could probably start around the beginning of March, but we're probably looking at April for those who aren't in the pension program.
And I know you mentioned this when you were giving everyone the highlight in that recruiting piece, but are generally candidates, I mean, when I think about getting a job, you think about like, all right, I'm going to get hired in 2 weeks and start. Are they generally aware that it's going to take 4 or 5 months before they're going to actually be hired?
They should be. So in all our recruiting materials and in all our outreach to the applicants throughout the process, we've included that estimated timeline, which, as I mentioned, it has kind of a estimate on when we'll do interviews, when we'll do our command staff interviews, when we'll do our backgrounds, polygraphs, all those things are outlined. We typically are able to stick to that schedule pretty closely. So they should have, if they read the materials, a pretty good understanding.
One other comment, just I think for the commissioner's understanding, was I've gone to these before. I was very impressed with the physical fitness generally of the candidates, but also the diversity of the candidates, both in gender and in ethnicity and race. It was a very diverse group where previous groups have been very homogenistic, maybe. So anyways, I think that's a good job. I think that's a testament to the recruiting efforts and maybe the word of mouth as the agency starts getting more diverse. People see that and like, all right, that's something someplace I want to be. So kudos to you and the department.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I would agree with that. It was a very diverse group. I was very happy to see that as well.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So Captain Sterling, you may want to get the other commissioners up to speed because we approved also 5 new vehicles. We're going to the Durangos,
Yes.
correct? And how long till we get those? Because I know there's a wait time for new
Yep.
vehicles.
So those have been ordered because we were able to order those through the 2022 appropriation, and those are scheduled to be delivered in February. So we should have those in hand and off for equipment and all that stuff, hopefully in time for those officers to start. Even so, they don't get a car the first day. So likely those officers wouldn't be issued cars till, late spring, early summer, depending on their experience. So we should be in good shape to get those cars to them and equipment.
Awesome. Any other questions, commissioners? Okay. Have any motions?
To do what?
To adjourn?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
All right. And,
Second.
okay, so we have a motion to adjourn by Vice President Garrett and a second by Commissioner Vargo.
Make a motion for it.
Oh my gosh. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. So we will, the motion passes for 5 in favor and 0 opposed. And we'll have our next meeting on December. I had it up here a second. Froze on me. We are going to have our next one on December 19th, 2022 at 9 a.m. or just after the town council meeting. Thank you.